I've known this young man since his son, Justin, and my son, Christian Nehemiah Ellison. Help me, Ebony. We're in kindergarten?
No, preschool.
Oh, Lord.
Probably like 3 or 4 maybe.
That's a lifetime.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I have observed him. I have debated him. I have watched him under stress. I've been to his home. I have dealt with him in the context of business. I have observed him as a husband. I have observed him as a community activist. I have observed him as a father. And if somebody asked me to write a letter of reference for this young man, this is what I would say. I would say, to whom it may concern. I have known Mr. Thomas Hall since our children were in preschool. I've observed him in every conceivable situation, every meaningful situation. And I can say, without any doubt, that I have never seen him behave in any way outside of his integrity. He is an outstanding human being. He is the person you want in your neighborhood. He's the person you want to do business with. I will say this. I cannot think of a greater example of what a father is supposed to be. That's what I would say to him. That's what I would say about him. And I'm not saying that just because I asked him to be our speaker. I asked him last year, he couldn't do it. So I said, I got you, brother. I got you this year. So I said to him, we talked. We bumped into each other at Kroger. And like earlier this week, or last week, I said, no, just talk to us about being a father. Just do that. Just do that. If you do that, you will bless us. So the next voice you hear after we sing, and there he is. Put your hands together for me. The next voice you hear after the choir and the congregation sing a congregational hymn. And what is that congregational hymn? Sandia? 194. Right? 192. Let us stand and sing from the heart. 192. The next voice you hear will be that of Thomas Hall.
So, I met a man who told me his dog can talk. Okay? And I started to say, but the dog can talk. He said, yeah, my dog can talk. And I said, you sure? Because my dogs can do like tricks, rollovers, play fetch. And he said, no, my dog can talk. I said, okay, well, all right, well, what can your dog say? Or what can how your dog talk? And he said, the guy came over and kind of whispered in my ear, and he's like, hey, has the dog on top of the building? I said, okay, all right. I said, well, whatever, man. So I said, I talked to the dog, hear me looking at the dog. I said, all right. So, what's on top of the house? And the dog looked at me, and he paused for a second, then he let out a big old roof, roof. So that's my dad joke, okay? Anybody here can tell me what does it mean to be a father? Just shout it out. Just what? Unconditional love. Anybody else? Helper? Good helper? Yeah, great answer. Okay? Now, this is what the Webster Dictionary actually says. Okay? They define a father as a male parent, a man who has gotten a child. Okay? Now, that's what the definition of defined by Webster Dictionary. Now, with the Bible, they have several different meaning what a father is supposed to be. Spiritual leader, encourager, role model, dreamer, mentor, provider. So all those are wrapped into being a father. Okay? Now, with that saying, anybody else has any other can agree that's kind of like a definition of what the father's supposed to be that everybody grew up with. Okay? All right, so my upbringing was that my father, he was very, he passed back in '96, but as I remember him, he was a person who was a very funny and easy to talk to, really real dad. And I really love him for that. And he taught me a lot of lessons. He didn't really have any judgment, against any pretty much anybody. Okay, he was really good going. And also I have my stepfather. Okay, my stepfather, he pretty much was telling me a lot of things about life, and the ups and the downs, which I was really, really appreciative of that because it was not, he was really real with it. Okay, I have plenty of uncles, aunts, cousins, everyone who encouraged me. So with that, it was more of just a family affair in which that helped with my upbringing and everything. My mom, which is in the audience, she was very, very instrumental in that. Okay, and also I remember my mother. She I guess for the discipline issues and stuff. I don't really remember my mom giving me kind of spankings. Okay, I think she always just outsourced it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, like, yeah, go ahead and you did this, go ahead and do it. Because I guess she was not trying to hurt herself. She was like, So I really do appreciate that, and that I really adore and cherish the men that happened to be in my life that were very good, true men. Either, and they made mistakes and they kept it real with me. Okay, and so that's one of the things I really loved about my upbringing. That will really affect me today. All right. I have an issue, with people who are still stuck, dads and everyone that's still stuck in their way of how they was brought up. Okay. It's some good things and not so good things. And I always have to remember. I said, now, what's the average age that your parents had you? Okay. Most of us parents had either in the teens or early 20s. Okay, can you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. So as I look back, as an older parent, I would say older parent. I'm 48 years old. Okay, as a parent now, and I'm looking at a 19, 20, 25-year-old, and I'm thinking, do they have enough life experience to really actually, whatever they say is law? They don't. You know, they 19, will you trust yourself advice from a 19, 20-year-old? Probably not. Right? Yeah, you wouldn't. It's like, oh, okay, now think about their parents, or your parents was about that age too, because they were still learning, okay? And when they learned, they were, you know, they were getting the best advice that was possible from their parents, which was bestowed upon them, okay? That's the reason why people say, tell their moms and dads and stuff like, man, y'all treat the grandkids way better than you treat us. Right? And then they say, yes, because we have patience and we learned a lot. And I'm saying, well, y'all should have did that on us. So with that in mind, you know, you gotta learn how to grow. Okay, your parents learn how to grow. That's the reason why, you know, when the grandkids come over, they bring gentle wisdom, they have, you know, they teach you things, they even tell you how to raise the kids. Like, don't be so hard on the kids. I said, well, Mom, you used to yell at me for just even walking outside barefooted, right? And then, you know, and then you let the kids just run out through the mud barefoot, come in the house and get on your couch and put their grinding feet in your house, right? And you don't say anything. So it's like one of those things that you grow. Okay, then once you grow, you start to understand a lot of those things are not important. You know, a lot of those things, you know, that you tell your kids, you know, it's just the way that you just remember yourself being brought up and how you just get disciplined for that. Okay? So, you know, my philosophy is basically, you know, help a children kind of determine how you raise them. Okay? So, you know, all children are different, although it's easy to put all the kids in one basket, okay? It's like, well, y'all gonna do this because that's why I said I don't have time for all that, right? So you put all the kids in one basket and say, this is how you're gonna, this is how we're gonna do things, this is how you guys gonna be raised. You kind of like, the child kind of miss out on being that individual, okay? And that's the reason why I think a lot of only child, when they get the new brothers and sisters, get kind of slight. It's like, wait, hold on. Now you group me into a whole bunch of groups now instead of just me individual, right? You know, I'm the youngest. Okay, I'm the youngest of 5, so you know, I can imagine how, you know, my older siblings must have felt when I came around, because it's a nice little gauge gap, and I was kind of like, you know, I was probably the most spoiled one, I would say, because my mom already practiced on my older brother. Right. So I came out, and my sister, which is sitting right next to my mom, told me, it's like, well, I guess you got a whole bunch of, you got a lot of lessons that you learned from us. So I was like, well, I guess so. So I really thank my older sibling for, you know, taking that brunt. So with that in mind, you know, you gotta have your child say, hey, what's the best way for me and you to actually get something accomplished? Now, I'm not saying you let your child just run the whole household, you know, stand up on the couch and tell you what you want to do. I'm not saying that, all right? But what I'm saying is, okay, listen, here's a task. How are we going to get it done? Instead of just saying, get this stuff done, do it right now. If not, you know what's going to come off my waist, right? I mean, that to me is like, that's just not, that get the job done at that point, but long term, it's not going to be longer effective, okay? Because, you know, at one time, you know, spankings and everything is not going to work anymore. They're going to get used to it, and they're going to be like, hey, I'm 13, 14 years old. Sorry, it doesn't really hurt, okay? So you have to say, okay, how can my child get a buy-in, okay? What I learned is that you give kids responsibilities. They're like, this is your baby, okay? My daughter, you know, bless her heart, she's 10 years old, and she told me she wants a dog. She really wants a dog, right? And I said, well, the only way you're gonna get this dog is we can keep this house clean, okay? And the house is just sometimes so like in disarray with all her things piled up and everything, right? We're constantly cleaning up, and we're like, okay, come on, let's get this, you know, let's get the clothes up, let's get these toys put away. And I said, well, the dog is not gonna be, you know, it's not gonna do well if the dog's around this area, right? And so she said, okay, I want a dog. So what she did, she went ahead and cleaned up the whole house, spick and span. I mean, it was just like, wow, you know, this is fantastic. So you can clean, right? She said, yeah, I can clean, right? So take a step further of this, right?
Yeah, but that was about
She
the
went
last
ahead
time.
and wrote out post-it notes.
To get to it.
Post-it notes and said, and stuck up and said, please keep this room clean because I want a dog. So with that, if you give ownership to a kid or to your child, they will go ahead and take it and put their responsibility, and they start acting kind of funny about it when, you know, dishes are left in the sink and rooms are, you know, in disarray and whatnot. So I learned that you use that for what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, you always give your kids a responsibility so they can be part of something. Even with any kind of like the church or school or whatnot, you give them responsibility. You feel part. It feels like ownership. Okay, so with that, you know, I found out that by doing so, it would definitely help out with a lot of your stress and everything. Okay, and for being a father, okay, you're not going to be just a father to just only that's in your blood.
That's right.
Okay, the term father is encompassing a position. Okay, it's just not a biological. Well, that's my kid. I'm going to worry about my kid. Okay, a father is a person who take care of their community. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are. If a child or somebody who needs help, needs some mentorship, or you just give advice to, that child should not have any problem coming to you for some good advice. Okay, and we have to take ownership. I am the president of this parent network that's in my community, and one of the persons who got me involved, she told me, she was like, you better take ownership in another person's kid. I was like, I'm not taking no ownership in no other thing. I'm just worried about my business, my kids, right? Mm-hmm. And she said, well, think about this. Your kids are going to know each other. They're going to play with each other. Mm-hmm. Heck, they may even marry each other. Yeah. And I said, wait a minute. I said, I didn't think that far in ahead. Oh. And said, so you have the responsibility of taking your kids and other people's kids and make sure they're doing their job. Make sure they're doing their homework. Make sure that they're in trouble. Make sure if they can't go to their own parents, that they can come to you. Because a lot of times, you know, they just need somebody to talk with. I don't know how many kids that came to me and just asked me for advice or just vented. Say, hey, my dad's tripping, my mom's tripping, you know, and they don't understand me. I can't talk with them. They're yelling at me, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, all right, well, what's going on? And, you know, sometimes they just want to get hurt. And I give them, you know, best advice I can to help them with that situation. And they remember that. They say, hey, I remember, you know, you didn't yell at me or just dismiss who I was because I'm a child. Okay, you actually listen to me. And I do that, you know, and with that, that's what kids needs to do. Okay? Because as parents, we can't do it all. That's the reason why we have a village. And I think that's missing. I think what's happening is, and I don't want to get on the racial issue.
Get on it.
Okay.
Get on it.
But I believe that this Western civilization, in which that we were always, you know, with that mindset that come and say, well, this is your unit, this is your child, you just worry about your kids and that's it. But we came, you know, as a village. You know, we came in, you know, everybody were elders. Okay, you listen to, if you mess up with this one elder, you're gonna get in trouble with that one elder because it's out of love, and then you're gonna get in trouble with your biological parents. Amen. So right now we're so afraid that to discipline or to correct, I should say discipline or correct another person's child, because we always get a feedback saying, well, you know, you don't talk to my kid like that. I'm the only one that's supposed to talk, you know, and then so we get kind of afraid of it, so we don't want the parents to start yelling at us, and then if they want to start some stuff with us, want to pull out, you know, weapons and just go crazy. I'm like, that's insane. I'm just telling your kid to pick up the trash that he threw on the ground. You know, but you can't even say that to them because everybody's so uptight and everything. And but before, I remember, you know, the respect that young people had for parents. Like I wouldn't dare to hear that or dare to use curse words or bad language in front of older people. I mean, that was like a common sin. No, you just hear blah 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 blah, and then us older people are looking and saying, "Hey, I'm afraid to even say anything to this kid because I don't know what this kid has." So guess what? We have enemies. Okay, we got but that's I don't want to talk to them. Now I'm afraid of them, and the younger folks like I don't want to talk with them because they're gonna start tripping and this and that and other, and then so we lose our community. Okay, so we need to learn how to be able to humble ourselves. Okay, and if somebody's telling you something right, you let them tell you what's right. Okay, without you trying to be all offensive and want to start throwing hands and all that stuff. Okay, and by doing that, I believe we're going to be a very, very good, a better society. As a group, as a family. Another statistic I want to debunk. Out there in the media, somebody said something real ignorant. They said it was a person of it was a white guy. Okay, that's I'm pretty sure he's one of those people with the red hats. Okay, and he said on social media, he said, you know what, Father's Day Juneteenth and Father's Day should be always on the same day.
No.
And he said because black fathers would never show up.
Oh.
And he thought that was funny. I said, wait a minute, hold on. I said, hold on. Because in my experience, black fathers are the most involved fathers I've ever seen. I see, like I said, I run a parent network and I do tutoring. I run tutoring, and I see mostly fathers bringing up their kids to tutoring and want to help out. So from my point of view, okay, that I see more fathers taking more into their kids, than sometimes the mothers. I'm not citing the mothers or whatnot, but I see because both of them are very, very active. But from that fictional debunking that black fathers don't do anything, please. I'm like, whoa, y'all a little bit too, some of them are a little bit too hands-on. I said, okay, man, we got it, but they care about us, and we just gotta give them that recognition that fathers are very important, and we appreciate them. We appreciate them. And if somebody tells you something different, there's some guys out there not doing what they need to do and whatnot. And I say, but there's also white guys that's not doing what they're supposed to do. Wow. So when the media and all that stuff try to slight that stuff, that we're all we're absent where there's no fathers in the community and everything like that. That's a bunch of bull. That's true. That's not true because it's very. I can go on forever and ever on this, but we just need to control our narrative. Amen. And to encourage one another. Amen. Okay, and don't be a secret squirrel. If you got some information that can help somebody else, tell them. Amen. Tell them. We're the only community. That keep things that to us a secret that can benefit everybody. Amen. Okay. Yeah, you don't have, because you don't affect my slice of pie. You see what I'm saying? So everybody thinks it's only just enough, just only for them, and they don't want anybody else to get to it. It's enough for everybody. Everybody. Just share it. And guess what? Once you start sharing and you start going into that journey that you're going to go and you need the resources, and you'd be surprised how somebody will tell you, say, you know what? Okay, you want to be, get into the construction field and you need to get some of these licenses. This is what you need to do. I know this person is downtown that can give you a person who has it and then connect you to, then you won't have to be doing your own homework in your trial tribulation. This person can mentor you, real fast. And so we just gotta know that once you start making that journey, resources and everything will come to you. We have to share. We have to, be that mentor to that young person. Okay? I tell everybody, I said, listen, we need to have a mentor and we need to have a mentee. Okay? And that's the only way we can actually survive. Okay? Don't say, I sick and tired of people saying, well, if I learned it, they can learn it too. Like, stop that. Just stop it. Be a father. Just be a dad, be a father, grab somebody by the hand, show how boys are supposed to act, show how women are supposed to be treated. Amen. You see what I'm saying? And be an example of that all the time. Amen. Okay, all the time. And let them know how the community needs them. I don't care what you are. You have something to contribute to this community. Amen. So in closing, I really just want to just say that you're okay. Dad, you're fine. Don't take yourself so seriously. Okay? Have fun with your kids. Okay, you're okay. The world is going to beat you up and everything like that, but you're fine. Okay, that's just part of it. Learn how to accept yourself. Learn how to be vulnerable. Okay? Gotta cry sometimes, cry sometime. Ain't no shame in that. All the people like, that's a bunch of garbage. Well, all right? That's what they say, men cry in the dark, because they're ashamed of it. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. I had a stepfather that cried all the time. To a point I was like, dude. So with that, and he was one of the toughest people I know. Okay, so you okay. You're all right. So with that, I'm going to end. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And that's how I
want to say, Rev, I'm going to give it a pray, but I want to say that I hope you saw that everybody stood up here. Did you see that? That means that you talked to us, you spoke to ours. And listen, we may have you come back if you don't mind. And I want you to talk about the uniqueness of the black father in a world of white supremacy. And I want you to talk about that. And yes, that's right, you can do that. And you know me, Nia, you know me, I don't let anybody in my pulpit. And the reason is because we have to say the same thing in different voices. Yeah. Amen. Right? Amen. So if you're coming out the gate on the polar opposite where I'm coming from, that's a non-starter. And I know this man, I know his heart, I've observed him, and he spoke to us, and I hope we're listening. The whole thing about the mentor, the mentee, about controlling our narrative. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Amen. Did you get your check? You got it. You earned it today. That was all right. But listen, what we want to do is we do want to pray. And we want to pray particularly with and for our Father.